In the kitchen, it's the place to be. We need a recipe for a delicacy. Call mom and dad, cause you'll need their help. And take the cookbook off the shelf. Grab the pots and find the pans. Put your chef's hat on, it's time to begin.
Hi YouTube, I'm here to share with you guys real quickly the cards I created for my recipe card swap that I'm hosting. I want to share with you real quick some of the products that I use before I share the card. So the paper line that I used to create my recipe card came from the Paper Studio I Love Baking Scrapbook Kit. This is a very old paper line. It's been in my stash for quite some time. So it came in very, very handy for this swap. I used this embossing folder by Cuttlebug, and I used this banner die by La La Land. This stitch die, these are stitch borders by Lawn Fawn. I used the scallop circles, and this is a Spellbinders Nestability. And this is the petite scallop circles. And I used it on some of my cards, not all. I used some of these little enamel dots that I got from Amanda. Some of this twine. Some stickers out of this Martha Stewart sticker pack. I used this punch, and I used the chef hat. Some Tim Holtz Distress Inks, the tea dye, and the faded jeans. And I used my Cricut cartridge. Can you believe it? Yes, I pulled out my Cricut cartridge, and I used the Sesame Street Cricut cartridge, and I cut out the Cookie Monster, and I cut him out at 4 3/4. So those are some of the products that I used to create my card, and now let me share with you my card. So here's my card. I decided to do a cookie recipe. So I decided to cut out the Cookie Monster since cookies are the theme for my recipe. And you see the little chef hat that I put on his head. I thought that was cute to make him look festy. And bring it up a little closer. I used this little circle in the back because it kind of resembled a cookie to me. So that's why I put that in the back. And I used my one of my stitched circles to kind of outline that. All of my cards are somewhat the same with some variations. You know how sometimes we're creating and we think of something later, and so with the next card we'll do something different. Well, that's usually how things turn out for me. I'll start doing something and I'll say, oh, that'll be cute, this will be cute, that'll be, So, all the cards, the layout is pretty much the same, but with some variations. So I decided to add this cute little scarf, or I made this out of felt, like a scarf. And the reason I did that is, with the Cricut cartridge, it cuts out those little bitty pieces. And with this part right here, it was like the cookie crumbs. And those pieces were so tiny that I just was not going to fool with that. So I decided to make him a little scarf to camouflage that area. I inked up or went around the edges of the cookie, and you can see the embossing folder I used to give the cookie some texture. And here's the Martha Stewart sticker. This sticker came from the paper pack. And then you can see very slightly, my light is kind of bright, but you can see the stitch. I wanted the look of stitching, especially with that gingham pattern, to give it like a country feel. So that's why I used the Lawn Fawn stitch border die there. And I think it turned out super cute. My recipe is housed on the back, and I decided to do the caramel chocolate chip cookies. because I am a sweet person. I love sweets, and I knew that I was going to have to do something sweet. So I decided to do this cookie recipe. And the size of my card is 6 by 6. And we were to create a 6 by 6 or larger, so I decided to go with just this standard size 6 by 6. And I think it turned out really cute. I love how it turned out. I hope everyone in my group enjoy and likes my recipe card. Also, one little thing that I like to do when I do the Cricut cuts on the eyes, I use some black enamel for the eyes. To give it more dimension. So that's something extra I like to do with my Cricut cuts. Also, I like to make sure I ink them, around the edges to make them pop off the page more. So that's my card. I will have a photo of my recipe card at the end of this video. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
In the kitchen, it's the place to be. We need a recipe for a delicacy. Call mom and dad, cause you'll need their help. And take the cookbook off the shelf. Grab the pots and find the pans. Put your chef's hat on, it's time to begin. For their steps